I welcome you all on this course of ENEE 101 Computer Programming. My name is Dr. Sarmat Suhaib. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, University of Jeddah. The book that we are going to use for this course is Introduction to Programming Using Python by Danielle. This is the cover page of the book. And regarding the assessments, we'll have homework, class participations, final exams, and the homework are going to make the big part of the assessment, which is around 60%, and the class participation will contribute 10% in your grading, and the final exam will contribute 30% in your final grading. There will be no midterm exam and there will be no quizzes, okay? But there will be a lot of homework and assignments. So it's very crucial that you do the homeworks yourself. If you don't do the homework yourself, then you will not be able to solve the final exams at all. And I'm very clear about it. So try to do the homeworks yourself. Well, this is me. If you want to reach me, this is my email address. And I did my PhD from the University of Manchester. I'm from Pakistan and I've been teaching for about 12 years. And I've also worked in industry for 2 years. So you can always reach me on the email, okay? I suggest that you don't reach me on WhatsApp or call. I recommend you guys, if you have any problem, you can email me, okay? And I will try my best to answer you within 24 hours. And if I don't respond in 24 hours, then resend me the email again, okay? And inshallah, I will respond to you. You know, sometimes it happens that you get a lot of emails and some emails get skipped. So don't worry about it. If you don't get response in 24 hours, just resend me the same email and inshallah I will get back to you. And I will strongly suggest that nobody please call me or contact me on WhatsApp. Okay? By the way, do you have any class representative? The person whom I can talk to and he can talk to the rest of the class, or anyone wants to volunteer to be a class representative, like I can talk to him and then if it's required, and then he can talk to you. Otherwise, I will try my level best to talk to you via the blackboard, just in case, you know. No one? Okay. So no one is interested to become class representative. Then I have to pick someone randomly. You tell me now, or I will select someone randomly. Huh? No one? Abdul Aziz, Muhammad. So, by the way, Suhaib, I was thinking about you, you know? I was just because you have the first name as my last name. So I was thinking about you. Suhaib, how about you become the class representative? Can you turn on your microphone? Can you turn on your microphone, Suhaib?
Yes, salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Suhaib, I was just thinking about you.
I
And you
don't
also
mind.
message.
I don't mind.
Eh?
I don't mind.
Okay. So, do you have the contact of all the students?
I think so. If we're probably in one group now.
Okay. How about Sohaib, you talk to the people and find one person, and then that person can contact me.
All right.
Okay. So, about the class course presentation and rules, the course will be of 14 weeks, and if we get a good results and assignments are provided in time, like if you provide assignments in time, then there is no need for laboratory hours, and we only have the lesson hours. Okay, but if their performance is not good in the assignments, then we'll have to add the laboratory hour. Presence is checked daily in random moment of the hour. So I will check attendance at any time in the class, and not being present at such a moment implies that you will mark absent. So you need to be sure that you are available all the time. The attendance of the blackboard, which is taken automatically, is only a complimentary thing, and distractions are not allowed. Any excuse of absence of any duration must be officially accepted. Like if you want to take any absence, then you must tell me properly by an email for the class, okay? And try to be as concentrated on this class as much possible. And small screen devices like mobile phones are not allowed. You cannot use them because I will ask you to write a code, and then I will not listen this excuse that I'm on the mobile phone. Everyone needs to be on the laptop, because if I ask someone to write a code and if he does not do it, I will mark him negative for the class participant. Okay, so no one should be on the mobile phone. Everyone should be on the laptop with the keyboard and the mouse. So I need you all to attend the proper computer with admin credentials. This is really important. You must have a computer with the admin rights. Okay. I will not listen to this excuse that this computer is not an admin computer and I'm just a guest on it. So please, find a laptop or a computer with an admin rights and take a class on it, because I will ask you to do real-time exercises. And if you don't do it, we have a very big participation. We have a very big marks here. Homework and assignment and participation. Then you get negative marks here. So always be on the laptop or desktop computer. If you do not understand something, you must raise your hand. I'm sure you all know how to raise your hand like this. So you can raise your hand and ask me question. And if you have trouble with my accent or with English in general, then you must let me know as soon as possible. Don't tell me at the end of the course that you cannot understand me. Okay? You have to stop me wherever you feel uncomfortable. This is not an English course. However, I will only evaluate on your computer programming. So any questions in this regard? And cheating is absolutely not tolerated. If you like to work with a colleague, you must provide an original solution. And when I say original solution, I mean different solutions. So similar or identical assignments, I will give negative mark. Okay. So even if you work with your friends, you need to provide your own solution. That solution has to be different. And if it's identical or similar, then you will not be given 0 marks. You will be given negative marks because homework has a lot of big contribution towards your mark grading. So I need to be sure that everybody is getting the right grade. So anybody who is found cheating will be reported to anti-cheating committee for further punishments. Okay. Our goal is not to have a laboratory hour, but if I see poor results, then I will use lab and teaching time will increase considerably. And then you have to come in the lab as well. Everybody has to come in the lab as well. If you don't listen to the class properly, if your homework is very weak, then we'll have to do some labs. Okay. And everybody has to be in the lab. I will give you assignment at the end of every class, and that assignment must be submitted before the start of next class. I will not give you any due date. Like if I give you assignment on Monday, then you must submit it before Wednesday. And if I give you on Wednesday, then you submit it before Monday. Okay. And you must start your assignments as soon as possible. The assignments will not be really big problems. They will be small or mid-sized problems. So I will give you those problems will be designed such that you can solve them in few hours. Okay. So when I give you assignment today on Monday, on Wednesday, I expect you to do the assignment and submit it. Is there any question in this? Yes, Harith. You can turn on the microphone and then say your question. Okay. Next time you must, first of all, the mic problem is not a big problem. You should go and get this thing corrected. Everybody needs to have his mic corrected, okay? Because, otherwise you will lose the 10% marks in a participation. If you don't want those 10% marks, then you can ignore your mic, but I suggest you guys to get your mics corrected. Secondly, sometimes there is a workshop in the morning and the workshop is no, I cannot help you with that. You need to make sure you take the right session. If there's a conflict in the timetable, don't take this, take the timetable, make your timetable properly. I'm sure there are other many sessions available. There are about 8-9 sessions available for this course, so I will not excuse you for coming 10 minutes late or anything like that. You need to be here 5 minutes before the class. Okay. There should be no clash in a timetable. If two classes are overlapping, that is not right. You must not take both classes. Then you need to talk to your advisor. Is it clear? Yes. I mean, that is not right that we are overlapping two classes by 10 minutes. That's not right. Okay, this is the list of the course and the tentative plan. We'll have around 10 topics to cover in this course. Today, we'll do the first topic, Introduction to Programming, Languages, Algorithm, and Flowcharts. And in the next session, we'll do the rest. In the following weeks, we'll do the rest of the topics. So today's topic is, by the way, is there any questions? Any questions so far? So this slide is really important. I will not take any excuse in this slide. I don't want to see you submitting your solutions that you copied from your friends or colleagues. I don't want to see that. I want everyone to contribute. Okay, so today we'll do the first topic of this course, which is the Introduction to Programming Languages, Algorithms, and Flowcharts. So programming language is nothing. It's just a way to communicate with the computers. You cannot talk to the computers using human languages. We need to find a way to talk to computers, and you can talk to them by using programming languages. Okay. So there are many types of programming languages. Usually they are classified according to the distance from the machine. So this is your machine, the hardware. Okay? So the languages, I will explain to you as we move along. The languages that are very close to the hardware are called low-level languages, and the languages that are the languages which are near the machine languages, we call them low-level languages. Like assembly language is a low-level language, and the languages which are far from the machine language, we call them high-level languages. In the high-level languages, we have an example of Fortran, C, Pascal, Python, C#, and so on and so forth. And on top of these high-level languages, we have some sort of visual languages like click and drag kind of thing. Okay, so let's talk about it in detail. This figure. So at the bottom of it, we have the hardware. In the hardware, we have the CPU, we have the memory, we have the disk, we have the input devices. Anyone who would like to tell me what sort of input devices can we have on the computer? Like, what are the types of input devices? No, screen is an output, You see it's input devices. Input. Screen is an output. Okay, if it's a touch screen, then yes, input. Yes, keyboard, mouse, microphone. No, hard disk is not an input device. Keyboard, mouse. Input device is something that comes from the outside world. You have the mouse, you click the mouse, the command is coming from the outside world. You press the key on the keyboard, the command is coming from the outside world. Microphone, if you talk on the microphone, no, memory sticks are also a kind touchpad, yes, touchpad. If you touch it, the command is coming from the human side. Okay. Memory stick comes in the USB and memory sticks are part of storage devices. They just store things. Okay. When I say input device, it's a device which takes an input from a machine or from a person and performs some action. Okay. What about the output devices? Yes, speaker, screen, headsets, headset, and screens. Your laptop or desktop screen. So we have, and then printers. Yes, mashallah, printer. Yes, scanner is an input device because it scans and bring the things in the computer. So, and this is what we're talking about at the moment, the hardware. Okay, the hardware, we have the input devices, the output devices, storage devices. For the storage devices, what do we have? We have USBs, we have CDs, we have Blu-rays, we have HDDs, SSDs. They're all type of the storage devices. Okay, and for the memory, we have the RAM. Do you all know about this word RAM? Anyone who has problem in understanding the word RAM? Yes. So we have the memory, we have the storage devices, we have the input devices, we have the output devices, and then we also have the CPU, CPU, the central processing unit. So all those things combined together makes a hardware, the lower part of this figure. Okay, everybody happy with this? Okay. Now the hardware, like let's say if you have two devices on the hardware, if you have the RAM and the CPU and they want to talk to each other, the CPU wants to talk to the RAM and the RAM wants to talk to the CPU. So these two devices can talk to each other using a combination of one and zeros. Okay, like this. Okay? And that thing is called machine language. Machine language is in terms of one and zero. So we can say that if I give this command, it could mean add two numbers, and 1 1 1 0 could mean subtract the numbers. Okay? So this 1100 and 1110 makes a set of commands, and that commands form a machine language. Okay. Now it is very hard to remember those digits. Like if I cannot remember 1100 to meaning that this is a command to add, and it's really hard to remember 1110 as a command to subtract two numbers. Okay. So what we do is we create something called assembly language. Assembly language is above the machine language, where rather than using 1100, we use something like add or subtract. I can say add 1 and 3. That's a assembly language. Again, assembly language is not easy to remember. So we create a higher level language like Fortran, C, Pascal, Python, which are far more easy to understand by humans. And if we can understand them, we can use them to program. Okay. I hope you all understand this hierarchy of hardware, machine language, assembly language. Assembly language is also called low level language, and the high level language for which we have the Pascal, C, and the Python, and so on. So does it make sense? Okay. So we have the machine languages. We cannot remember the commands. Like commands actually are in the form of one and zeros. Okay. We cannot remember the commands of add or subtract as a sequence of one and zeros. It's really hard. So what we do is we don't use machine language. We program in the assembly language. So in the start of the computer era, people were programming in the assembly language. In assembly language, we don't say one and zeros, we say sub, add, and things like that. But again, people were feeling that it's really hard to program in assembly language. And then they worked on and created a higher level languages like Fortran, C, Pascal, Python. And as you move along, you will see that it is very easy to program humanly using high level language. I can say the high level languages are kind of close to human languages. Okay, the human can easily understand them. So assembly language is a type of low level language, and Pascal, C, Fortran, they are a type of high level language. Okay, and above the higher level languages, we have the visual languages. I'm sure you have seen the visual languages where we just drag the things. You don't write any code. You don't write any line, just drag the thing, and then somehow they just start working. Okay. So the lower level language, okay, like what? Okay, let me send you a link. So I will send you this link, and I will suggest you guys to read about it. Here they have shown many examples for click and drag. Then you click things, you drag them, you connect them, and then you make a logic. and then it works without writing a code. There are many examples of it. Okay, but we'll be using the Python. Python is a high-level language. We are not going to use a visual language here. So let's come back to this thing that the low-level languages are much more hard to code and debug. Debug means if you find if there's a problem in the code that you write, then you need to find that problem. Okay, and the process of finding the problem in the code is called debugging. Okay, so the debugging is a process of finding a problem in the code. So if you have a low-level language like assembly, it's really hard to find a bug. Bug is a problem, and it's hard to find a code. Whereas it is very easy relative to the low-level languages to code in the high-level languages. Can you send again? Send again what? This thing? Okay. So you can, yes, Nasser. Yes, Nasser, can you speak? Okay. So in our course, we'll be dealing with Python, and Python is in the upper high level category. Okay, it's somewhere here. Python is a high level language. It's an example of high level languages. Okay, so now we have two things. The question that comes in mind is, if I write a code in high level languages, the hardware only understands one and zeros. It cannot understand anything other than one and zeros. So there needs to be a way to convert a high level language into one and zeros, and so that the hardware can understand what I want to say. And there needs to be a way to convert the one and zeros from the hardware back to the high level language. And for that, we have something called compiler or interpreter. Compiler or interpreter is something that takes on high level languages and convert it into the low level language so that the computer can understand. Whereas a high level language, only human can understand. The compiler and the interpreter are also used to convert the low level languages into high level language. So it works both ways. So the Python language, when we use it, there is a built-in compiler in it. When we write a code in high level language, the compiler will take our code and convert it into the low level language so the hardware can understand. Okay, this may all seem very, very unbelievable, but as we move along this course, as we do examples from next class, you will start seeing this thing. And as we move along the course, you will see many examples where we will be disturbing the computer and try to disturb the hardware and see how can we use the hardware for our purposes. I'm sure everyone wants to, let's say if you have a file, you want to save it in the storage device. So we'll learn about it. And if you have a storage device and if you have a file on it, you want to read from it. So we do all those stuff. And for that, we'll have the compiler. The compiler will convert the high level language into the low and from low to high, The question is, what is the difference between compiler and interpreter? So the difference is that the compiler takes a complete code. Let's say if your code has 10 lines in it, the compiler will take all the 10 lines and convert them all together into a low level language. Whereas the interpreter, if you have 10 lines of code, the interpreter will take one line and interpret into the low level language. Then the interpreter will take the second line and interpret into the low level language, and so on and so forth. So interpreter are one by one, and the compiler takes the high level language and convert it into the low language at once, which means that the interpreter are slow. They have the slow execution because they do one command and then this is how it works. Okay. Any question in this? By the way, if you ask any question, that also contributes in class participation. Asking question can give you marks as well in the class participation. To try to ask as many questions as you can. Okay. Which one gives error in the middle of the code? Which one gives error? Well, they will both give you the error, the compiler and the interpreter. If you get an error, call it bug in the code. And to find the bug, is there a difference? Find the bug, the process of finding the error and the process of finding the bug is called debugging. Is there any different in the outcome? Now the outcome is same. It's just that the interpreter works line by one line. It's slow, and the compiler works at once. So yes. So we'll use the word bug now, okay? Bug for error. And the process of finding that error is called debugging. And if you want to see a bug, this is how it looks like. You can see many bugs here now. Can you open the link? So these are the bugs, the problematic stuff. Compiler makes the work easier in RAM, right? Well, I think it's debatable. It's quite debatable, I think. But can you explain me why would you say that? Yeah, the best part, Khalid, if you're saying that, yes, it is right in a way that the CPU does not have to access the RAM again and again and again. Yes. So you access the RAM once, take all the code and put it in the CPU. Yes. In that context, it is right. Because, accessing the RAM takes time, wastes time. You got the answer, Khalid? Okay. Anyone else who has a question? Okay. We have Abdullah, Umar, Bakar. Yes. CC, wait. we can find the slides. Okay, I will upload the slide at the end of the class. Yeah, I mean, I should do it before the class, but inshallah, next time we'll do it before the class, or we'll see how it goes. Okay, but you can find everything on the blackboard. Yes, Abdullah. By the way, you can find the textbook and the reference book on the blackboard. Okay. So let's move on now. The last topic. The last topic is about algorithm. Algorithms are very simple things to understand, but they are very powerful. Okay. Algorithm is like a sequence of well-defined instructions. Okay? That you will do this first, and then this thing, and then this thing. So this sequence of instruction, a sequence of well-defined instructions, is called algorithm. Okay, and this algorithm can be explained very well in the form of flowchart. Okay, so here we have a flowchart which is explaining the algorithm to check if the lamp is working or not. So let's see. So if you have a problem where the lamp does not work, the first thing you will see is to check if the lamp is plugged or not. If it's not plugged, then you plug in the lamp. And if the lamp is plugged, yes, and the bulb is burnt out, then you replace the bulb. And if the lamp is plugged in and the bulb is not burned, then you need to buy a new lamp. This is a flow chart which explains the algorithm for lamp to work. Okay, so algorithm is a set of instructions that you should do this. If that happens, then do that, and so on and so forth. And you can represent the algorithm in the best form. And one of the methods to represent the algorithm is a flowchart. Okay, everybody happy with this? So yeah, it is very important. It seems very simple, the concept of algorithm and flowchart, but it's really powerful concept. If you know how to write an algorithm and you know how to make a flowchart of an algorithm, then you can write the code can make a logic, and then you can write the code very easily. Okay. So any questions from this? No. So you need once we start. Writing the code, we'll take the help of algorithms. We'll write that algorithm in terms of flowchart, and once we have the flowchart, then we'll write the code. Okay, that will make our code far more easy to understand and far more easy to write. Okay, so now you have a slide for the homework. So you should go to this link and you should download the Python, and then you should install it. I expect everyone to have this Python 3.9. This is a Python 3.9. Okay, I expect everyone to have the Python 3.9 installed from this link only on their laptops and desktop. And everyone must have a laptop or desktop in the class with admin rights. You should not take this class on the mobile phone. I will give you negative marks for that. Okay. Now let me spend few minutes. Yes, the link is already on the blackboard. Now let me spend some time teach you how to install it. Okay. So let me see. Share a screen. So let me share a screen first. Yes, you can do Python online, but it's better to install it as well. So can you all see my screen now? Okay, so sorry guys, I think I mistakenly pressed the wrong button. Okay, so let me start again. So you go to this link. Okay, we'll have this web page. Can you all see it now? Okay, so you go to this web page. If you have Windows, so depending upon your operating system, if you have Mac, Linux, or Windows, you will install the package. I have Windows 64 bits, so I clicked here and I downloaded something here, and then I will show you how to install it. Okay, so this is what I have downloaded. I click here. Can you all see this thing now? And listen to me very carefully because people make mistakes here. And when they mistake here, their installation does not work. Can you all see the screen? So you see the icons? Yes. So you look at this. You have to check. You have to add Python to your path. Okay, click on this checkbox. Okay, add Python 3.9 to path, and then you press install. If you do not press this checkbox, then you will face problem. So let's wait for a few minutes for it to install. Yes, I will send you the link. The link is already there on the blackboard as well. But first, listen to me and see this process. Yeah, it's been taking a bit more time because my computer is a bit slow. So yes, please wait for a minute or so. Are you all guys with me? Okay, yes, just hang in there for a minute or so. Inshallah, it will complete. So, and then you press the close. Okay. And then you go here and you go down there, MNOP, P for Python. You go into the Python, and this is your, let me do it again, sorry. You go to the Python, MNOP, and you press this, IDLE Python 3.9, 64 bits, okay? Once you press this, you will get this window, and you should have this, three direction signs, and this. So I expect everybody to have this shell IDE on the computer once they are back on the Wednesday class. So now you can see the screen as well. You can see the link, okay? So any questions? By the way, I was expecting it to ask me a few more questions during the installation, you should ask me a few more questions during the installation. Okay, listen me very carefully now, everybody. Whenever it asks you an option to add something in path PATH, you must say yes, add it. Okay, because it should ask one more time during the installation that if you want to add that particular path in your path. So whenever you get any option to do that, you must say yes. Okay, let me repeat again. Let me repeat. So whenever during the installation, you get an option that if you want to add something in your path PATH, and you must say yes, always yes. Okay, whenever during installation of the Python, it asks you to add something in path PATH, then you must say yes. Okay. So whenever during the okay, let me repeat. Whenever during the installation, it gives you an option to add something in path PATH, you must add that thing in path. Okay. Whenever it gives an option during the installation to add something in path, you must add that thing in path. It only asked us once now, but when I did it last night, it asked me 3 or 4 times. So for you guys who are doing it first, for the first time, it will ask you 3 or 4 times. Just always check the box and say yes. Okay. I hope everybody gets an Python installed on Wednesday class, and then we can start the programming section. Let me know if there's any question. No question? Okay, then that is all from my side. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.